One of the things I talked about today was about culture being something that everybody has. There's no such thing as a right culture or a wrong culture. We all have culture, we all have different ways of viewing the world, which has been programmed into us from an early age. Well, culture is an important part of identity, but that doesn't get you too far, because one of the things that we're not taught to do as clinicians is often how to assess somebody's identity. Often that gets confused or mixed up with notions around personality as well as identity, and sometimes culture as well. So one of the things that we're interested in doing through the research that I'm involved in is looking at identity through the issue of belonging, people's sense of belonging, whether their sense of belonging to a history, a family story, a place, a particular nationality maybe, a particular religion, particular gender. And once you start having conversations about belonging, that opens up different ideas and probably more some productive conversations you can have about belonging. It also generates ideas about treatment as well. There has been some work, not a lot of work done, around the issue of identity and suicide, and there's two areas which it seems to be important. One is with people who've got a damaged autobiography. In other words, they have a personal narrative, a way of describing how they got to this point, which often lacks details or is vague compared to a comparison group of people. And that's probably important in several different ways. One is it's an indication of I suppose, a damaged sense of belonging. But also, one of the things that happens with people who've had that damaged autobiography is that they often don't learn how to solve problems properly. That they've experienced people not solving problems usually, and they don't seem to have learnt how to solve problems effectively, so that applies to their personal life as well. So often, when they're faced with real big difficulties, they end up being stuck, and if they can't ignore the problems, one solution is to harm yourself, to temporarily take yourself out of the situation, or even to kill yourself. People who have a impaired sense of being connected, impaired sense of belonging, are more likely to be suicidal or have more suicidal thoughts than people who aren't. One of the things that is important in the access study that we're doing is with face-to-face therapy. An important part of that is engagement. An important part of engagement is understanding how people have got to this point in their lives. It's what is the meaning of them trying to kill themselves or harming themselves, which has got them into the study. What is that? How do they understand it? What does that mean?